So a question I'm asked all the time is, Drew, why are you a Catholic? So I decided today we would sit down and we would talk about it. So here are the top 3 reasons why I'm a Catholic. But first, I want to stress, I believe that salvation is found anywhere Jesus is. I think that the primary issue is not which church you belong to, but do you believe in Jesus? That's not a popular thing for Catholics to say, but that's what I truly believe. I think that salvation can be found anywhere. I think it's up to God to decide who is saved and who's not me. And if I tell you that I'm saved and you're not, I'm a liar, because I don't really know. Only God does. So I want to make that very clear from the get-go. This is not an attack on Protestantism. This is not an attack on any other denomination. So let's get into it. Number 1, historical continuity. If Jesus really established a church, we would see it all throughout history. And when I look at Protestantism, I only see 500 years of historical roots. And I don't see anyone who knew Jesus. I see Martin Luther. On the other hand, when I look at the Catholic Church, I see 2,000 years of rich history. So if I'm going to seek the fullness of truth, I'm going to go to the church that's been around the longest. I'm going to go to the church that has apostolic roots. I'm going to go to the Catholic Church. Reason number 2, authority. Many Protestants subscribe to the idea of sola scriptura, which means Bible alone, that the Bible is the sole infallible authority. But there is one major problem with that. The Bible never says which books should be inside the Bible. So basically, the sole infallible authority doesn't even say what's supposed to be inside the sole infallible authority. So if the sole infallible authority doesn't provide us a list of what is supposed to be inside the sole infallible authority, then we must have an authority outside the sole infallible authority that tells us what is inside the Bible. I know that might have been really hard to track, but basically, if the Bible doesn't claim to be the sole infallible authority, and it doesn't tell us what's inside the sole infallible authority, then the Bible cannot be the sole infallible authority. In other words, the Bible was canonized by the Catholic Church. So the Catholic Church had the authority to determine what is inside the Bible, which books to accept and which books to reject. So if I believe that the Bible has authority, then I must also believe that sacred tradition also has authority, because it is from sacred tradition that we get the Bible. Number 3, apostolic faith. I want to reflect my faith off of the followers of Jesus. So how do we know what the followers of Jesus believed? Well, we look at the early Christians and what they wrote. And when we look at Ignatius, Justin Martyr, Irenaeus, we see that they believed in infant baptism, they believed in the Eucharist, they believed in the intercession of saints. All of these Catholic beliefs that many Protestants reject, we see that the earliest of Christians who knew the apostles believed in. And trust me, they know better than me. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know more about Jesus and faith than the people who knew the apostles. And when I put my trust in somebody, I would rather put my trust in the early church fathers than Martin Luther. But that's why I'm a Catholic. And I want to stress again, I believe salvation can be found in any denomination. Wherever Jesus is present, there can be salvation. But I believe that the Catholic Church is the straightest path. It's the fullness of truth. So as much as this is a secondary issue, as much as I don't think that God is going to slam the door on those who didn't believe in the Eucharist, I do think that people should consider being a Catholic and they should look into the Catholic Church because the experience is truly like nothing else. And if it is the fullness of truth, why wouldn't you want to experience it? So this is not an attack on Protestants. I love Protestants. I'm friends with Protestants. In fact, many Protestants follow me and like the work I do. So I would never hate on Protestants. I love all Christians. I love all people. So I want to make that very, very clear. And I think that most denominational debates miss the point. But with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, like, do all that stuff. Thank you.